Okay, we're back again. Brynn, are you excited for another action-packed session on how to use Dynamics better?
I have never been more excited, Peter.
Really? We can talk about that later, actually, but I'm worried for you now. But seriously, all kidding aside, this is one of my favorite topics, and I think it's
Yeah.
another example of sometimes people think CRM is just like this huge leap forward, but in reality, what I find is it's like little things that add up to make you more productive, more consistent, more just faster to respond to prospects and customers. And to that point today, we're going to talk about emails. So doing emails and setting up email templates for those standard responses that you have to give on a regular basis. A lot of people who come to us before they get CRM, before they start using their templates, they will redraft the same email 100 times. It
Yeah.
makes me feel bad for them, Brent.
It does. It's a lot of copy and paste. Those keys are probably pretty worn out, I think, by now
Yeah,
on most keyboards.
I mean, it's not good. It's not good. But so for those of you who are tuning in today, we're going to show you how to use email templates built into the basic sales module of CRM. And just so you know, there is more advanced features if you get the full marketing module, but we're going to really focus on the bread and butter, which is the sales module. Did I get that right, Brent?
Yes. Yeah.
It's almost like we planned this.
It's almost like we planned it. Not quite. We'll see, I guess, how this goes.
So maybe to start off, I mean, you can take me where you want, but I kind of want to just show
Sure.
people how it works. Like, if I wanted to send an email to someone here, how does that work?
Yes. So let's say I was trying to send an email directly from Dynamics. You can also send an email from Outlook, right? And track it back to Dynamics. I'm going to just walk through, since I have Dynamics open, how I would make that happen from here. So I'm going to go to my timeline first, which is going to hold all of my various activities, tasks that I've tracked back, emails that I've sent, emails that I've tracked back to the system. And I'm just going to say new here at the top. I'm going to say new email. And then in this case, so let's say I've had a proposal out. So I've got a proposal out for an opportunity that I'm working on, and I need to follow up right back with my prospect to see if they've seen it, if they have any questions, like what our next steps are going to be. And typically, so if I don't have any kind of like template set up in the system, if I don't have any kind of automations around my follow-ups, what I would most likely be doing, which we alluded to in the beginning, is going over to my Outlook and copying and pasting, let's be honest, like most likely an email that I have sent to someone else, like to some other prospect,
Right.
pasting it in,
So just
and
to
then making a ton of edits.
so just to be clear, so what you're doing here is like the old-fashioned way of just copying, go finding something in your
Yes.
sent items that's similar to what you're about to send, and then just copying it, pasting it,
Yeah.
and then updating it for the current person, which is a very common thing that people do. So what you did here was off screen where we didn't see it is you had an email and you just basically copied it.
Yeah. So this would be like, in terms of best practices, not the best. It's like a mid practice,
A
I'd
mid.
say. A mid practice. We're at least tracking an email to Dynamics, right? We're at least doing the follow up inside of Dynamics so that it registers on the opportunity. Everybody can see that I sent the email. I can see that I sent the email, and then I can follow up on it in a few days.
And can I ask a question here? So,
Yeah.
and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, so just let me know. But like, there's really no point in doing this because you could just do this in Outlook and then you could track
Yeah.
the email, like you said before. If for those of you who have Dynamics and aren't using this yet, the Outlook panel in Dynamics is awesome. It's a great way to
Yes.
get usability of your Dynamics in a very simple way because it's embedded in your Outlook. But you can just send an email and then just go file it, and it's all done in Outlook. It's super easy. Like I would never do what you're showing here. You're just showing it
No.
as a test case, though.
Yes, just showing it as like a quick test case so we can see how it differs to when we start using the templates in the next bit here.
Perfect.
All right, so we've covered how this is not great. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to shrink that window and we'll talk a little bit about using templates. So if you have used templates before, they're pretty similar to how templates will work in Outlook or in other email providers. I'm going to actually set this up. I'm going to set up a quick template in the back end by going to our advanced settings here.
And while
And
this
this is for those.
Oh,
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
was
Peter.
just going to ask, well, this is coming up. Can anybody do this, or do you have to have admin rights?
Great question, Peter. So you do have to have admin access to get back here to interact with the templates. So, which is nice, right? Because we don't want necessarily like everybody coming into the back end of the system and setting up templates. That is editable though. So you could say maybe you want your sales managers to be able to go in and create templates. Maybe you want all your users to go in the back end and create templates. But out of the box by design, it's just for those admin users.
I mean, to me, for this is kind of a segue, but as a best practice, so a lot of what we do over here is we know the software inside and out, but really we're all
Yeah.
about applying best practices to make sure that you and your team get the most mileage and out of your investment in CRM. And in general, you don't want things to be the Wild West. You don't want everyone to be able to create templates, in my opinion. Maybe your company is, small and you just want everyone to have full freedom, but to me, it's just a bad practice because if I set up a template and Brynn already has one, but I don't really pay attention to that, then I'm reinventing the wheel. And what'll end up happening is you can have lots of different versions of almost the same exact templates if you don't watch out. So, food for thought.
Yeah. Exactly. So I'm going to go here into my templates and I'm just going to select from the menu email templates and we'll open up those templates that we already have in the system. Okay, great. So out of the box, it's going to come with quite a few templates. So you've got a good number of templates in here to kind of start with. You can take a look through these, modify for your own purposes, but really most of us, I think, are going to be probably just creating new templates from scratch, but you do get a great amount of templates, like 55 almost right off
That's
the bat.
I honestly didn't know that. There's a lot of templates here.
There are.
That's kind of crazy, but that's good. Most people though, as Bryn just said, most of you will have your own style of template. So you probably have like common response letters, or if a customer asks for like a white paper or something, or a product catalog, you probably have your own versions of those templates that you're going to set up.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to walk through that process. It's very quick. It's very easy. I'm going to say new up here at the top. And it's going to ask me, I want to create an email template. So for this one, let's say that email that I just sent before following up on our prospect or our proposal for our prospect. I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste what that template looks like for me just to save some time. So we'll call this proposal follow up template.
And
And then I can just, oh, go
can
ahead,
I
Peter.
interject here? So if
Yeah.
you've seen our other videos that Bryn and I have done, both of us are big fans of naming things properly. Because what happens is a lot of times
Yes.
people will name things in shorthand, but then in a month from now, 3 months from now, you're looking through all your templates and you can't figure out which template is which. You're going to regret that you didn't take a second or two to think through a naming structure. So, whoever does your templates, you should just follow a pretty consistent and easy to understand naming convention because you will thank your past self when you have to use the dang things.
Yes, very true. And also, if we've got new people coming in, if we've got new people onboarding, you don't want to have to go through and like arduously explain every single template, what it's actually for. So it's good to have those naming conventions and also to have good descriptions for the things that you're creating, which are a little bit more long form.
Yeah, I've seen some people with templates like that are like codes, like 3 character codes, and I'm just like, oh no, no.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. You heard it here first, I guess. So, next thing that I have to choose from here is our permission level. So I can actually choose, do I want this to be an individual template that only I am able to see and access and interact with? Or do I want to open this up and have everybody in my organization be able to use this template? So I'm going to go ahead and set that to organization just in case you love my template and want to use it for your own emails. We've got that option. Next up, so this is a very important selection. I'm going to choose the category of the template that I'm going to use. And you can see all of the different options that we have here in the drop down. What this really is looking at is the data inside these tables. So inside the opportunity or inside the account, the case, the contact, I can actually pull specific fields from those records into my email template as long as I'm choosing the correct record. So if I want to pull in from the opportunity, say, which we'll do here in a second, and say, our last phone call was on such and such a date regarding this opportunity for this new project that we're thinking about working on together. And you can really pull in a lot of that data into the email template to make it a lot more personalized. So it doesn't look maybe necessarily like just some canned email that I send out every single time I'm following up on a proposal. It's got some like real rich data and context and reminders about our call that I can just pull in automatically and not have to do every single time for every single email.
And just to frame it a different way, for those of you who are
Yeah.
have done this in the past, basically it's like a word merge. Like if you've ever done a merge
Yeah.
with Word documents and stuffed envelopes or whatever, just pulling in specific pieces of data about the record that you're looking at when you go to make the email. That way you don't have to copy and paste things. It
Exactly.
just pulls it right in for you.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to choose opportunity for this one since I'm following up on a proposal I've sent. I'll go ahead and say create. It's going to run a nice little wizard here for me very quickly. Okay. And here is our template. So again, description, great place to put a more detailed, we'll say like first email after sending a proposal. Let's say 3 days out. So it can be as detailed as possible, the better. And then let's give this a template subject. I'll just say your emails will be better than mine,
Yeah.
but it's pretty straightforward. And then let me grab some text. Okay. So you can see here, instead of just writing this out 100 different times, let me go ahead and just pull in some of those dynamic fields that we talked about here. So we obviously don't want this to say hi first name or hi customer on every single email. I'm
That'd
going
be
to go up here
awkward.
to the top. Yeah, it would be awkward. Hi customer. Those emails are
Hi,
valued
friend.
customer. Yeah, hi friend. Hey bud. I'm going to go up here to the insert dynamic text. And again, this is going to just query our records and look for the specific value for whoever it is that we're emailing. So here I'm going to go to our contact because contact is who I'm emailing in pretty much every situation. And then I'm going to look for their first name. So let me scroll on down. First name. Great. I also can give it a default. So if for instance, if my data is maybe not the best and I don't have a first name or if I don't have a value in a field, I can give it a
So
default to
you
kind of
could
fall
put in
back on.
friend.
I could. Hi
Hi,
friend.
friend. So if your data doesn't,
There.
if there's no data
Yeah.
there, it would just use that default text. That's really cool.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So just in case if I don't have data there. So I'll go ahead and say insert, and then you can see, so it's going to pull the contact first name, or it will also substitute with friend if there's no data there. The next bit is pretty good. Okay, so my insert date. What date did I send this over? What date did I start this opportunity? I'm going to go for the created on date. Created on. Our last call. Maybe put some default text in there. Always a good substitute. Okay. And then I'm going to sign it. So this email is coming from me right now, right? But because I set this to organization, I don't always necessarily want my name at the bottom in case Peter loves my template and wants to use it for all of his follow ups. So what I'm
Hmm.
going to do here is I'm going to go back to my dynamic text and I'm going to go to the opportunity and I'm going to look for the owner of the opportunity.
Actually, could I
And that,
throw an idea out
yeah,
there? Wouldn't you
you can.
want this email to actually be from whoever the user is? Like, because if I'm sending it, wouldn't it be
Yeah,
from me? But I guess you could send it on my behalf. So like if I had an assistant, it would you could set it to the owner of the opportunity, which would then look like it came from Peter or Brynn or whoever the actual salesperson is. So you could do it either way.
exactly. Yeah, you really could.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Yeah,
I'm
do
gonna go
do it
with
the way you were gonna do
opportunity
it. Yeah.
owner, and I'll put a default in here and just say if there is no again, this is never gonna happen, but if it didn't, say Peter Wolf is my default.
Perfect.
It's how I like to sign all my emails
I
personally.
mean, I don't blame you.
Yeah. All right, so that's it. That's my entire template. I can also add attachments you can see here. So I could add different attachments to my email, PDFs. We'll insert in the email just like your text will.
And I know a lot of our customers are manufacturing and distribution accounts and service
Yeah.
firms. So if you have like price lists, like that's a very common thing is,
Yes.
can you send me your latest catalog or your latest price list or a white paper? So you can attach those to the template. That way no one has to your users, your team don't have to go digging through to find the latest and greatest price list. It'll always be there in the template, so it just saves them time.
Yes, that is a great point. Another thing that you can do here along with the attachments is insert a link. So I'm going to actually do that here. We'll just insert a nice little link and we'll see how that looks when we send our template to a user. But okay, so our template looks pretty good so far.
And Brynn, I just want to jump in
Yeah,
here real quickly before you go
sure.
on. But so we're not really going to go into all the formatting options here today. We just
Hmm.
really wanted to show you how it works. But you can see there's a very rich ability to format this in many different ways.
Yeah.
So you can do things like add signature lines to, and like your logo. You can have default fonts and colors and things like that that you pick from. So like you can make these emails really pop, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yes, you absolutely can. So my emails, again, most people watching this video are going to have better follow-up emails than I do. But yeah, it's a lot. It's very flexible. So we're just showing kind of scratching the surface on this
Yeah,
today.
makes sense. I have
All
another
right.
question about when you picked
Yeah.
the category, I think it was, where you picked
Yes.
it was an opportunity.
Hmm.
Does that, like, I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you it.
It's a
I'm good at playing
test.
dumb.
Great.
Does that mean that if I'm on the opportunity, I only see templates that are based on the opportunity? I won't be cluttered with a template that only apply to a contact, for example.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. So it's going to, because we created an opportunity, I'm not going to be able to send this from, say, like a case record.
Yeah,
I wouldn't see it if it was going to come up. There is an option for global. So you could see global templates across multiple record types, but the limitation there is that you're not able to pull the kind of like robust data that you can when you're actually inside a specific record type. So like case ID number or opportunity topic, those kind of things are going to be in the specific record templates rather than global is just kind of, if you want to send a generic email from any table.
that makes sense. And the reason why I bring that up is because I think one of the things that we see over and over, and if you're already using Dynamics or another CRM and struggling with this, it's very common, but
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are drowning in information these days. And so to one of the greatest things about Microsoft, there's so many great little things about Microsoft CRM, but it will only show you what you need to see based on the context that you're in. And so I don't have to see 1,000 email templates. I only see the ones that apply to
Yeah.
wherever I am in the system. That's huge. It saves people time and frustration, which usually drives adoption, which means that you'll get a return on your investment faster with CRM when you keep things simple like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd much rather see 2 or 3 email templates to choose from rather than remember that giant list when we pulled up all of those templates that are available out of the box in the back end. You'd be scrolling through 55, 66, whatever email templates, just kind of looking for my proposal follow up. So,
I mean,
yeah, this is
honestly,
a,
I'd only do that once or twice, and then I'd just be rewriting the email from scratch every time again,
yeah.
just like I used to before CRM. That's why
Hmm.
it's so
You,
important that you do this right.
exactly. Yeah. You'd be relying back on the old copy paste and yeah, not fun for anybody. So I'm going to go ahead and save our template here at the top. Great, it's saved. So now my template exists and it's ready to be used anywhere in the system.
Before you move on, can I ask a quick question?
Yeah.
Next to the attachment, there's a flow. And we don't have to, I know this is not meant to be an advanced discussion, but what does the
Mhm.
flow do basically? Like, what are the simple concepts that it'll do?
Oh, flows can really be anything. And we'll talk about this a little bit more, I think, towards the end when we look
Oh,
at
okay.
some ways to automate these follow ups. But a flow, basically, I mean, you could configure it to have different attachments attached from different areas. You could configure maybe even your own kind of tracking based on like who opens the record and when and how. So there's a lot of flexibility that you have with flows. We're going to look at one very specific instance in a bit, but yes, flows are I'm sure you and Jason have probably 100 calls on flows, and if not, happy to do a couple videos on those as well because they really are just very flexible and easily adaptable to all processes. You could have it do pretty much anything.
Well, just as an example, could I have it automatically once the email sent? Could the flow be triggered to remind me in 3 days to follow up with this prospect?
It could, yes.
Okay,
Or you
that's
could even
cool.
put dates on things and just say, yeah, in 3 days, follow up on this, or in 3 days, send another follow up email. Really unlimited what you've got the options to do with the flows here.
Very cool. And I think this is probably a good time to tell people like if there's topics that you want us to dive into deeper, please comment or hit us up on LinkedIn. We're pretty accessible. And really, we're making these videos for you. So if there's things that you're like, gosh, I wish they'd covered this, just let us know. And definitely subscribe if you haven't yet. Subscribe to our channel because we're going to be creating more and more of these as we go on. And we'd really love to hear from you. Anyway, enough of that. Let's
Yeah.
move on to whatever you were going to go to next.
Okay, so now that we are back in our account, I'm going to go ahead and show how I would use that template inside Dynamics, and then maybe we'll take a quick look at what that would look like in Outlook as well. So I'm going to say, just like we did before, I'm going to create a new email. It's going to pop up this nice little window here
Didn't you
for
create it
me.
under the opportunity?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Well, we could look and it
Pardon
shouldn't show
me.
up, but
It won't. Yeah.
okay, so let's just go to the opportunity then.
Let's go check out my opportunities. All right, and let's say it's for this very specific SharePoint folder automation. And I'm going to send my follow-up from the timeline. Go ahead and create a new email. It's going to take me to that same pop-up form that we looked at earlier. All right. So now, I'm going to just leave Copilot out here. I'm just going to go straight up to the top, and I'm going to say Insert Template. It's going to show me. Well, first I'm going to select, what am I going to track this to? I'm going to track this to my opportunity. So my opportunity record we saw when I opened it was this SharePoint folder automation.
What that means is
So
it's
go
going to
ahead
go on
and,
the opportunity timeline and not like the company or account contact.
yes. So it would go to this. This is the contact that I have listed for that record, but I want to track this to the actual opportunity
That makes
itself.
sense.
And it will automatically track also to the account and the contact. So you really don't have to worry about that so much. Okay. So you can see recently used. I've gotten here a couple. I've got a few more on the opportunity table. I also can just search. So if I want to say proposal, here's my proposal follow-up that we just created. And I do get this nice little preview here too. So it's going to show me. Wow, I should probably edit my timestamp here. I'm being very specific about when I sent over my
You know
proposal
what?
here.
I find you can't have enough details these days.
Yeah, being very specific. I sent this to you at 9:58. Go check your Outlook. But we've got our email here. I've got my link. I'm going to go ahead and just hit apply my template. And there it is. So if I wanted to make any edits now, like if I wanted to, for instance, maybe not be so specific, there we go. And I can add any text, make any modifications that I like. I can add a different attachment. Maybe I have like a specific price list for this opportunity or for this prospect that I could attach here that's not part of the template. You can do that as well.
And of course, as we're going through this, I mean, I think it's important to note that we've been going back and forth and talking about these specific things, but once you start using them, this becomes very quick. Not
Yeah.
only is it quick to do it this way, because obviously you could do quick emails in Outlook too, right? But the
Yeah.
reason why you'd want to do it here is because you can get consistency across your entire team. It's automatically tracked in your CRM to the appropriate records in CRM so everyone can see what everyone else is working on. So that way you don't, if someone loses their computer or wins the lottery and doesn't show up for work
Yeah.
ever again, their information's in there. But you can also automatically attach things. And then down the road, one of the best strengths about Dynamics is the automation. So down the road, you
Yeah.
can automate follow-ups here. So like I was saying before with that flow, I send an email out and you send an email out doesn't mean you're going to get a response. So if you're sending out an important email, you can trigger a flow to automatically remind you, hey, did I get a follow up from that customer yet? And so that's all doable in CRM. It's not doable in Outlook. So those are the reasons why you want to try to shift to using this as much as possible.
Yes, very true. You can also see here we've got this email engagement box to the side. I just want to mention it in case people see it in their systems. But email engagement is part of the standard sales insights. So if you have either enterprise licensing, sales premium, or sales insights licenses, you'll see these options here for email engagement that give you a little bit of extra flexibility on scheduling different send times, following these emails, or like you just mentioned, Peter, setting automatic reminders to follow up can be all set up right here from this screen even.
Very cool.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say send. Send this. Actually, Peter, I'm going to send it right to you.
Dang, I feel honored.
Well, let's see if you exist in our system.
For the contact, I should. Yeah, there we are.
Well, there you are. All right, so I'm going to send to you. Go ahead and send. Oh, pay no attention. All right, I'm going to hand wave.
Oh, it's
Ignore
probably
this,
because my
AJ.
record doesn't have, it's probably said is do not allow.
Yeah,
Maybe just send it to you,
that's
Brynn.
okay. Yeah, I'll send it to me.
But that was a good example. So if you try to send someone they're not
Okay.
properly set up, you will get an error message to let you know that it's not sending. So you just need to go clean up your data.
Yes.
And cleaning up data is super important with CRM. So we might as well leave that error in there.
Yeah, I guess. We'll see. All right, so I'm going to send my email. And there it goes. So now that I've sent my email, again, it's going to automatically track to my timeline here. Oh, I just got it. It's going to automatically track to my timeline. These are those email engagement features that we just looked at. So you can see here at the bottom, it's just been sent. It's not been opened yet. When that does get opened, we'll see a little bit more interaction data in here as well.
Very cool. Well, it seems
All
like we've already
right.
covered a lot. What else have you got to show me?
So I want to take just a quick look at what this would look like from Outlook because unfortunately we don't all live in Dynamics 100% of the time, but we still might want to make use of those templates, right? Even working out of Outlook. I
By the
know we're
way,
all in
this is a great
Dynamics.
time to just tell people if you are living in your CRM, you should definitely give us a call because, like, I'm a seller.
Yeah.
I use Dynamics. I live in my Outlook. I do 90% of what I need to do from within my Outlook. It's a huge game changer and it makes the CRM a lot more useful. So if your people are struggling with CRM, give us a call. Let's just show you the Outlook plugin because it's gonna change your life.
Yes, and we're going to use that plugin right now. So I've got the Outlook plugin set up on my environment so that everything's linked. You can see I've got this nice little Dynamics 365 pane up here at the top. And this is actually going to show me, it's going to log in for a second. Okay, great. It's going to show me all of my information about this email, about this recipient, about the things that we're working on. I'll go ahead and open up this version instead. And now if I wanted to actually reply back, so this is that email that I just got, or one of the
Mhm.
emails that I've got from our opportunity. Go ahead and open up my D365 pane here.
And
And as
just
long as
another
this email is, yeah, go ahead.
Another real quick side tip, you can pin that Dynamics panel so it's always
Yeah.
open. So Brynn is shutting it and reopening it, but you can pin
Hmm.
it so it's always open.
You can, yeah. So I'm going to go here to these three little dots, say insert, and wouldn't you know it, all of those email templates that I have in my Dynamics are also available for me right inside of Outlook. So I can track it against different opportunities if I had any open. I don't. This is the only opportunity I have open at the moment. So it's going to ask me to select that opportunity. And then what template did I want to get here? Let's say proposal. There's my proposal follow up. And that's it. So just add to email.
But
And
just to
there's my
be
email
super
template.
clear, so you all understand what Brynn is doing here, is she's shown you two ways to use those email templates. The first was right from within Dynamics. But like I said, most of us, most sellers like me, I live in my Outlook. So your
Yeah.
CRM admin can set up all those templates, but then you could use them from your Outlook. You don't have to go over to the CRM if you don't want to. You can just go right from here and pull up those templates and save yourself a whole bunch of time, plus get the benefits of tracking it in CRM, plus any automations that happen. Like it just all happens because you're using the templates that you created in CRM, and it takes you it, it even though we were going back and forth and talk about this, it takes a lot less time than
Mm-hmm.
redrafting an email or going through your sent items to find a similar email to copy and paste it, and then you have to like make sure you have to change every last piece of detail. Or what used to happen to me, Brandon, I'm not proud of it, is I would copy and then I'd
Yeah.
like forget one piece of data, so it'd be like, "Hey Susan," when it's going to Steve, and
Yeah.
it just like egg on your face. But anyway, these things are just so powerful. They're so simple to use too.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to show you one final thing to make it even simpler. So again, working in Outlook, totally fine. I've pulled in all this information here. This is also going to automatically track back to that record so that I can see this email later. Everyone I work with, maybe Peter wants to check it out. We'll see these emails as well. And then if we take a look at my favorite way to automate sending follow-ups is not even to have to go in and select the template, create the email, go through all those steps. What you can actually do with Easy Buttons, which is an Azamba add-on, is create just a quick little one-click button. And what this is doing, Peter, is it's calling a flow. So those flows that we talked about earlier, I can actually create a flow with a couple of different steps. Like, let's see, once my stage goes to that proposal has been submitted, I want to send that email. So send that proposal follow up email. And then maybe 3 days later, I've got a second email that I want to send. Maybe 4 days after that, I have a phone call task to that I want to show up on my activities so that I can personally reach out maybe and follow up on those two emails if I haven't gotten any responses back yet. So this is one really, really, really nice way to kind of automate those things because best laid plans, we always mean to go and jump in the system and do those follow-ups, but whether or not we remember, whether or not we have time, like whether or not it's on our minds at the moment when we get bombarded with 100 different tasks, really nice to be able to kind of set it and forget it and let the system create those follow-ups for us as well.
I'm going to just restate this from my perspective. So
Please.
what Brynn is describing here is we have this add-on called Easy Buttons, and Easy Buttons is designed to take multi-step processes. Some might only be 2 steps or 5 steps or 10
Yeah.
steps that take maybe a minute or two or 10, 15, 20 minutes and turn them into push buttons. Now, the push buttons aren't always a one-click op thing. Like it doesn't just magically take everything and turn it into a one-click thing. But in this case, if I'm reading this right, Brynn, if I click
Mhm.
that button, it's going to automatically pick the proposal follow-up template. I won't have to go through that whole selection process that you showed me. It probably defaults in who it's sending from and all the other things that you were doing manually before and turns it into more of
Yeah.
a more streamlined single click. Plus, if I'm hearing you right, it will also automatically do a follow-up for me in 3 days or 5 days.
Yeah, exactly. So I could get a task on my timeline. So even though those emails have gone out, if I haven't gotten anything back, maybe I just want to give a phone call. Maybe I want to send out a meeting invite, something like that. You can automate any of that really with the flow option on the button.
That's really cool. And I know I use this example a lot, but I feel like a lot of our customers have this need, but like send me the latest price catalog. Like
Yeah.
to have a button there just on the so when you go pull up Brynn's record and she says, send me the price catalog, instead of having to go draft up an email, go find the latest catalog and or ask your marketing department, you can just push the button, it sends it
Mhm.
out, and maybe it sends a follow-up email to Brynn in a week that says, hey Brynn, just checking to make sure you got the catalog. Let me know if you have any questions. Like that is just a
Mhm.
way to create faster moving processes that are more consistent and dependable that will hopefully result in your team's ability to juggle more with a quality response in the same amount of time. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so powerful. That's the stuff that pays for CRM pretty darn quickly.
Yes, yeah. And one of my favorite things that you can do here too, speaking of kind of, seeing things when we want to see them and kind of clearing them off when we don't need to be looking, is if I have these buttons, I can actually set them to different stages as well. So like in my lead, for example, if this SharePoint folder automation opportunity is still brand new, I haven't sent out a
Oh,
proposal, I haven't
wow.
done anything yet. Yeah, so I might just want to have like a quick discovery call follow-up email. This is another template. It's not a whole process, right? It's just one email. So I'm just going to send, after I've had that first discovery call, I'm going to send this email out. And then hopefully later on, right, when we transition to these other stages, I can have a variety of different buttons here associated with whatever I select to only show me like what are the most important tasks that I want to take against this potential sale, given the stage that it's in or given the type of project that it is, right? So we can have those different conditions based on any field in Dynamics. So you do really have a lot of flexibility here.
I have to admit, I guess I've been daydreaming during the product development meetings. I didn't know that that was an option that we could dynamically change the what buttons show up based on the stage. That is really freaking cool.
Yeah, I take full credit. So as long as you haven't been paying attention.
No, you did all
Yeah.
this? Did you program it
Yeah.
too? This is amazing.
Yeah. Last weekend. So
This is
I
really
told you
cool.
I've never been so excited.
For those of you who are watching this video, you should hit us up about easy buttons if you don't already have them. They are
Yeah.
huge game changers and they drive adoption. The other thing that's really freaking cool for me personally is those easy buttons can actually show up in that Outlook panel that Brynn was showing you before. So if I go pull
Yeah.
up, so Brynn emails me and she says, hey, Peter, can you send me the product catalog? Sorry, it's my go-to, but send me the product catalog and the price list. So I can go click her name in my Outlook. I don't have to go over to CRM. In my
Mhm.
Outlook, and I can go and look at the easy buttons panel, and there'll be a bunch of common things that people ask us to do, and I can just push the button. It's
Yeah.
it's a huge game changer, and it drives the value of CRM up through the roof. It's
Yep.
amazing. Do we have a video on easy buttons? Maybe people should go watch that next.
Yeah, we do. Maybe we could link to it in the notes of the video, or,
Perfect.
if you have questions about easy buttons or how easy buttons could apply in a specific situation, as Peter said, always reach out. I'm happy to make another video or a series of videos on some different potential uses or use cases for easy buttons, because there really are, there's just so much that you can do with them, and they're really fun to kind of play around with and demo as well.
You can color code them. You can add little icons. They're very
Yeah.
beautiful now in this new version. Like they used to be so boring, but anyway,
Hmm.
Bryn, I think like my brain is full for now, and I don't know about the rest of the
Yeah.
world out there, but like this was really informative. I personally learned a few things, so I really appreciate you making the time. This was great, and I think it's like it goes back to what we always tell our customers, like sometimes people think CRM is just supposed to be this like massive revolution, but for me, I think
Yeah.
start small, start simple, and just do these tiny little improvements like with email templates. And like hopefully
Yeah.
all of you who watch this have seen this is an ideal way to do emails, but also track them and automate them and make a consistent, fast response for your team. And so nothing falls through the cracks. And it saves you a minute here, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes here. And it just like these tiny little incremental changes will transform your business if you do them, if you use them properly. So sorry, I got on my soapbox a little bit there, but this kind of stuff really excites me.
Yeah, it is. It's very exciting and it's very easy to do. So I know we went through a lot of information today, but when you're kind of using these and enacting them in your own system, it's very quick, it's very simple. It doesn't take as long as we just showed in the video to really get some very good buy-in from your users, and also some great results to kind of save time and effort and follow up on sales, really.
Yeah, I love this. I always tell people I'm like the world's laziest salespeople, and I think it really resonates with our prospects because it's not that we're lazy. It's like it's kind of a joke, but the truth is
Yeah.
we all are focused on doing the things that we like doing, which is building relationships, finding solutions for customers. And so drafting up emails is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And reminding yourself to follow up on an email is a pain. So to use Dynamics to like just streamline that whole process, including the follow-ups, is a game changer. And so as a lazy salespeople person, thank you, Brynn, for showing this. This is amazing.
Yeah, of course. Happy to help.
Okay, cool. Well, I really appreciate it. We'll be back in a couple more weeks. So again, hit the subscribe button. But thank you very much, Brynn. You have been amazing as always. Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.